How are we feeling today? I've decided to upgrade the Witchy weather report with some music and sound effects. Hello, hello. Are people tuning in? Maybe they are. All right. It's time, my friends. It's time for the Witchy weather report. Here we go.
Oh, there's magic coming. Oh, there's magic coming. Oh, there's magic coming. Where you gonna be tonight? Oh, oh, oh. There's magic coming. Oh, there's magic coming. There's magic coming. Get ready for the rest of your life.
Hello and welcome to the Witchy Weather Report with Sassafras Tarot. My name is Rory Kelly and I am your designated card slinger today. How are we feeling? Hi Melissa, how are ya? So good to see everybody. It's Saturday. It is 11:04. I think I might have started like at 11:02 today. It's rough, y'all. You know what happened? It's actually like musician problems. I was like, ooh, I'll add some music to the Witchy Weather Report. I have like 20 minutes, so let me just do this. And then it, I guess, took 22 minutes. I was definitely being a little bit, ooh, I could do this. Which sometimes is a lot. So let me know if things are looking and sounding good to you on these interwebs we all share. I know I've got a couple people in the chat. Hey Anna, how you doing? Melissa, it has been a couple weeks since you made it to a Witchy Weather Report. Thank you for tuning in. If anyone's on Insta, I would love to. I don't think I have anyone viewing on Insta yet. I'd love to know how it sounds. I'm doing a little bit of a compromise where I route some of my music through my monitor speakers here so that the Insta people can hear it too. Speaking of music, I decided we needed some vibes today. I hope you're down with the vibes. All right. My name is Rory Kelly. I am your designated card slinger from Sassafras Tarot. I am reading today from the Spiral Tarot. These readings are offered freely. I do this every week to create a special space where we can all support each other and get a little bit of insight for our week. If you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, I do have a virtual tip jar, and you can see it scrolling across the bottom now. I'm also going to throw it in the pinned comment. So you can absolutely support this work if you desire to. Always appreciated, never expected. What do you think about these music vibes? I set up a little bit of a loop before I got started today. I was like, I could make the Witchy Weather Report cooler with some music. It's going to be different music every time because that's who I am as a person. I just have this going through my looper and I was goofing around with some different synth sounds, so that's important. I have to remember not to lean on my keyboard because it'll do things. Hey Diggy Cat. Wow, Diggy Cat, it's like 8 in the morning for you. That's like really early. At least I think so. Again, I'm a musician. 8 in the morning's a very early time. I'm not entirely convinced it exists. I see some cats dropping in the chat. That is the secret code here in the Witchy Weather Report. If you would like me to pull a card for you, please drop a cat emoji or write the word meow in the chat. And the reason we do that is because when people write like, pull me a card, we often get spammers. We don't need that in our lives. Life is too short for spam. So there we have it. But if you drop a cat emoji in the chat or write the word meow, I will know to pull you a card. I'm going to pull us a card collectively for this coming week. But first, before I do that, I want to ask, How are you feeling today? How has your week been? How have things gone? Last Witchy weather report I feel was a little hectic and harried. At least I was a little hectic and harried. I want to know how you're doing. I want to do this right today. I want to really connect and show each other some love this morning. How are you feeling? I'm asking sincerely. Hey, Ondine. I'm so glad you tuned in. I was hoping you would show up on the Instas because I have a little bit of background music going on today and I want your opinion on how it sounds on Instagram. Also, hi. Good to see you. And Judith says, aye, but blessed. Big mood. Yeah, I feel that in a big way. All right. So I'm reading from the Spiral Tarot today. Let me tell you a little bit about the Spiral Tarot. I like to give these deck authors a shout out when I can. Kay Steventon is the authoress and I believe also the painter behind the imagery on the Spiral Tarot, and there's a really neat backstory about her grandmother teaching her about the spiral path, and that is how the Spiral Tarot came to be. Spirals are a very big part and real part of her spirituality. So that's nifty. Ondine says, I'm okay, hand issues still bedeviling me. That makes it sound like you're a delicious deviled egg. And I know that's not at all what it's really like for you. I'm really sorry, that sucks. It absolutely, like, having that kind of pain, especially in your hands, which you do everything with. I'm a guitar player, so I am no stranger to like tendinitis and things like that. And it's amazing when you have like some kind of a hand injury, you realize how much you use your hands for that you don't think about every day, you know? All right, I'm pulling a card for the week. I'm going to go through everyone's comments. Here's our card, everybody. It is the Eight of Swords. I have a big relationship with this card. I think I've told you before. This was my card of the year for, I can't remember what year. I can't remember if it was 2019 or 2018. I want to say 2019. The Eight of Swords. Wow, I'm watching myself on Instagram and watching myself on Facebook, and I'm amazed at what a big delay there is. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit so that there's less shine on it. The Eight of Swords, as you can see, there is a woman kind of bound by some type of thread and surrounded by swords in this kind of murky place. There's a little bit of water on the ground. It doesn't exactly look flooded. There's kind of a sea behind her in this. She's just kind of in like low tide vibes, which is not the most pleasant. Her hands are in prayer position and she is blindfolded. And however, what's important to notice about this is there's no one else here. No one is keeping her bound. Her binds aren't particularly tight. She could get out of this situation. This card represents being bound by our own mind, our own sense of limiting beliefs. And this year, what I'm inviting you to rumble with, this year, wow, listen to me, this week, what I'm inviting you to rumble with is how is it not as hard as I think? If you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling forced, if you are feeling like there is nothing you can do about the situation you are in, I invite you to ask yourself if there's maybe actually a way that that's a belief. It reflects your inner state rather than your outer state. And I don't want to dismiss things like past trauma. I don't want to dismiss things like the real situations of like us living in a capitalist society, in a society where there is real inequity and things like that. Those are real things that affect us all. But at the same time, it is possible for us to hold ourselves back based on our beliefs about what's going on. you know, based on our beliefs about how the world works and how it works to us and the stories we tell ourselves, things never work out for me. I can never get ahead financially. I'm always trying to play catch up. I am always the last one picked for the team. You know, those kind of beliefs. Anytime you hear yourself say always, it's a big trigger to look more thoughtfully at the situation, because that's probably our confirmation bias. And while it may be true often, and while it may have been true for you in the past, I invite you to ask yourself if maybe this time there's a way out that you couldn't see before, because you're wiser and more experienced than the first time you experienced this type of situation. That's our card for the week. So that's big, man. That's some big shadow work we are being asked to do this week. How do we feel about it? Does that resonate for anybody? All right, I'm reading up through these comments at this time. I wanted to go ahead and get that weekly card right out there at the beginning. That's been a goal of mine, is to start things up a little faster for y'all. I feel like I'm a little yellow from this light. I'm going to turn it down a scotch. Oh, there's my rosy glow. All right. I got some meows. Samara says, fine, and you? I'm well, thank you for asking. I'm working through the weekend. I always do. My weekends are shifted from most people's. I usually have a couple days off in the middle of the week, and during the weekend I'm working. But it's a good working weekend. It feels good. It feels like a manageable schedule, and like I'm finally getting to do some things I'm excited about. Thank you for asking how I am too. All right, let's see. Diggy Cat says, literally came for the vibes. Big mood, Diggy Cat. You bring the vibes, my friend. Judith is meowing. Couple people dropping some cats. Aw, Anna says, awful. Nerves non-existent. I'm very sorry about your non-existent nerves. I feel you. I am sending love. I'm sending vibes to you. Melissa says, oh my god, I am so good. I'm just good all the time now, and it's scary. I'm working like crazy, but I feel so fulfilled and rewarded, and I still have more free time to do things like today, where I am drinking margaritas while I work on designs, and then we'll be swimming with friends. I love it. Melissa, living your best life. I'm so proud of you. Patty Bell says, that damn Eight of Swords. I know. And also sounds like the conversation we were having this morning. I know, right? It's amazing how the tarot does that. It's like, sometimes it's really cool, and sometimes it's a little obnoxious. Ondine says, it's really embedded in my thumb tendon. Ooh, that's the worst. Like right here. So painful. I'm sending you vibes. I'm sending you anyone who needs vibes right now. I have some vibes to offer. I don't always. Sometimes I'm burnt out at this time of the week. I have some vibes, and I'm sending loving vibes to you. Anyone who has some loving vibes to offer, please send them. We have some people who are struggling. Let's be a support system. Let's be interdependent and be kind to each other. Thank you, Melissa. You know, I don't mean to sound like, oh, I'm so cool, but I'm loving the loop vibe too. It makes me think of, there's a human I follow on Twitch who's really cool, and their username is A Pile of Petals. All one word, and it's because they have this room that is full of awesome different effect pedals and a guitar, and they do like live looping with all these pedals and create these really cool soundscapes, and that's their Twitch stream, and they like just have these encouraging things to say throughout it, and it always puts me in this really special headspace, and setting up this vibe with the looper today is putting me in that same kind of really positive headspace. I hope you're enjoying it too. Anna says, Eight of Swords was last night. Diggy Cat is sending vibes. Diggy Cat's vibes are very powerful, believe you me. All right, I know I have some folks to get to cards, so let's dive right in, shall we? Wherever you're tuned in, I am thankful for you. Thankful that you are joining me on the Facebook or the Instagram or the Twitch or the YouTube. I see people on every platform today, which is just lovely. That's why I try to pop up comments whenever I can. Due to sending some heart vibes. Samara also sending some good vibes. Thank you, everybody. May these vibes go to who needs them the most. May Those who need replenishment find yourself replenished in surprising and delightful ways. Ondine from Instagram says, hi, Diggy Cat. All right. I definitely have some cats in here. Anna was the first meow. Then I'm going to do Ondine. And then Melissa. And I know there's some other people who are requesting a card. Don't worry, I got you. Ondine, I did not communicate your typo. Don't worry. Ondine actually first wrote, hi, Figgy Cat. Which is not your real name, but is funny. Diggy Cat also has someone on Twitch who calls him Ziggy, which entertains the heck out of me. Oh, give us some figgy kitties. Okay, Anna says, want to know how Monday will go? Kind of scared. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for you. This is the Spiral Tarot that I'm reading with, by the way. If you just tuned in, I'm Rory with Sassafras Tarot. We do this every Saturday. I'm so excited to be reading for you. And we have the Seven of Cups here. I want to show this to you because what's unique about this card in this deck is there's a real element of your subconscious mind being at play. I want to just show you this card. This individual is walking in the rain with an umbrella. I'm not sure how well you can see the umbrella on this screen, but they've got an umbrella. They're literally half underwater, and under the water are these many different cups. There are 7 cups. There's one kind of tucked, and they all have different colors, indicating our different goals, our different priorities, our different dreams. Especially I want to focus on the word dream here because there's a lot of subconscious energy. Being partially submerged in the water indicates that your subconscious is playing a much bigger role in your decision making than you think. And in this particular thing, there's a little bit of a flood vibe because your subconscious is torn between values, between desires, between dreams. As a result, even if it's positive, even the positive things happening in your life can feel like too much because there's a real sense of overwhelm and trying to keep up with it all, trying to keep your head above water. Now, the truth is you have many gifts. So I don't know what Monday is. I don't know what significance Monday has for you. I didn't ask in case it's personal. You have a lot of gifts and you have a lot of opportunities here. And it may feel like you don't because you might just be so immersed in the feelings that the situation is bringing up and the competing desires and triggers that are happening for you as a result of what you're going through, that it might be hard for you to see like, oh yes, there's possibility here. I have choices. In fact, you have many choices and you are completely in control. But you may feel overwhelmed. And I invite you to ride through those feelings. I invite you to treat them as friends and treat this period as a period of immersion and allow yourself to feel your way through it like it's really okay. It's really going to be okay. You have what you need to make the choices you need to make. So I invite you to honor your feelings one by one. Invite them to tea. Have conversations because there will be many feelings. And that's okay. Ondine, I'm going to pull a card for you. By the way, I mention this occasionally, but not as often as I should. If you have a particular question you want me to pull a card on, just let me know. I'm happy to. Otherwise, I will just pull a, general What's Up Universe card. My intention is always when I pull these cards that you get the information that will serve your highest good. And it says, that's what I need to hear. It's going to be okay. Well, guess what? It's going to be okay. This person on the internet said so. So, as we all know, internet facts are infallible. It must be true. Everyone, send some good okay vibes to Anna, please. All right. I like how everyone is typing Figgy Cat in the chat. I'm just delighted. Diggy Cat, this is your new name. I don't make the rules. Ooh. Ondine says, looking to possibly facilitate shadow work with alternative substances. There's a deep dive. That's awesome. Slash, of course, like, be careful. You know, I always am going to be the mom friend and say make sure that you take good care of yourself, both physically and emotionally. Ah, and Ondine goes on to say, supervised, of course. What an adventure. All right, Ondine, you have got the Three of Wands, my dear. The Three of Wands is absolutely, when you're talking about an adventure, it's like, yes, go do the thing, go do the adventure, enjoy yourself. You have more resources than you believe you have at hand. You have everything you need, and you have help, including external help, to complete the mission you are setting out to complete. So I'd call that a big affirmation from the universe. This is a live stream. I never want to encourage anyone to do anything illegal or unhealthy or unsafe for them. I encourage people to make their own wise decisions and to do anything with care and safety in mind, because that's important. But anyway, you did get that Three of Wands, Ondine. So that's the universe is like, yes, cheering you on. Diggy Cat. Diggy Cat has moved over to Instagram and is saying, what in tarnation is going on here? Diggy Cat, you get 20 points just for saying the word tarnation. That's lovely. Alright, I see I got some comments going on here. I have additional Diggy Cat comments. I have Figgy le chat. Hey Mary Jane, how are you doing? Good morning, how are you? It's so good to see you. So good to see all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alright, Melissa, I'm going to pull a card for you. By the way, I hope you like my kind of upgraded Witchy weather report vibes today. I did a little bit of live looping before I went live, and got this vibey music going on for us, because I was like, why not? Life is short, why not have vibes, you know? If you just tuned in recently, our collective card for the week is the Eight of Swords, and this tells us that we might be telling ourselves it's harder than it really is. And I say this with love and without judgment, because it's human nature. Our confirmation bias may be making us feel that we are stuck, maybe making us feel that there's no way out, maybe making us feel that we don't have choices. And the truth is, we do have choices, and we have to do a little bit of shadow work to identify why we feel that way, and perhaps choose a new belief. Choose a belief that the thing we desire is in our grasp. Choose a belief that we are not stuck. Choose a belief that we have many options. You know, I'm big on belief as a tool, and that is what I am inviting you to do this week. I'm reading these Instagram comments. I'm going to narrate these comments for you because you deserve them. So, Diggy Cat comes into Instagram and says, what in tarnation is going on here? Ondine says, it's my damn thumbs. And Diggy Cat says, thumbs are dumb, and as a cat, I refuse to use them. Thank you all for existing. Ondine also says, it's got the effect of a singing bowl, the music. Thank you, I love to hear that. Oh my gosh, Mary Jane has a gallery reception tonight. Nervous wreck. Oh, it's going to be so good, Mary Jane. I'm so excited for you. Everybody send Mary Jane good vibes for her gallery reception. Mary Jane became a super awesome photographer in 2020 and is now literally having her work shown in galleries. How cool is that? Like, what a glow up. Okay, Melissa, this card is for you, my dear. The Fool! Oh, what a beautiful card for you to get. It's time for yet another new adventure, taken in good faith, Melissa. I feel like you've had so many in the last year. And also, as your tarot reader, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told you if you took the time and did the self-care things and were kind to yourself, that you would shoot up like a shooting star at some point. And it's beautiful to watch it happen. And it's the kind of I told you so I love to be able to say. All right, the Fool. Let's talk about the Fool, because this card is more esoteric than a lot of Fool cards. The Fool tends to be a very straightforward card in many decks. We certainly have this element of adventure and this angel indicating that the Fool is protected. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side. It's mirror. The Fool is protected on this path. The Fool is being watched out for. There's an element of beginner's luck. There's an element of safety and faith. And there's also an element of questing. So we see a chalice in the corner over in this region. That's the glowy thing. We see a chalice that the Fool is kind of gazing at with both interest and trepidation, indicating that the thing you are desiring, you have no idea how you're going to get there, but you're enthused enough. Your enthusiasm will carry you through. You don't know if you're good for it. You know what I mean? You are good for it, and the journey is going to teach you much. It's the right path for you at this time. And you will be learning a lot. You will be learning both practically and esoterically, you know, both kind of spiritual growth as well as like skills. So, you win. Ondine says, go get it, Mary Jane. All right, let's see who else. Let's see who else I am pulling a card for. I know I got a bunch of cats in the chat. Let me scroll up and take a look. Melissa says, this is so accurate. I don't know what I'm doing or how I'm getting there, but I'm learning all the things and all the ways and making shit up. That's honestly, that's how it is. I always tell people, if you feel like your life is a ecstatic / terrifying roller coaster ride, it's probably because you're living your dreams, and it's like it means you're doing it right. Because it is scary to go after our dreams and our desires. All right, let me see what cats we got here. We just had Melissa. I see a cat from Judith. Let's see. I see a Twitch cat from Anna. Oh, by the way, Anna says, hi, Judith. I'm on Twitch. That was a while ago. Anna is tuned in on Twitch. Thank you for twitching with me. An awkward thing to say to anyone. All right, so let's see. I know I got a cat for Judith. Then I got Patty Bell. Then I got Samara. And then Diggy Cat himself is a cat, so we got Diggy Cat in there too. And then Mary Jane. That's a lot of people to remember. Judith, Patty Bell, Samara. Then I'll scroll up again. I can only hold 3 people in my head at once, and it's a tight squeeze. There's not a lot of room in here. Mary Jane says, thank you, Ondine. I love being the intermediary for these loving messages across different platforms. Thank you all for tuning in with me on the Witchy Weather Report. All right, Judith, here's your card for the week. Your card is the Ace of Pentacles, baby. I want to talk about the Ace of Pentacles on this deck because we have this beautiful, like, fertile goddess tree woman here with, I'm pretty sure these are peacocks, like, hanging out in her branches. Like, yeah, this is just a beautiful, fertile nesting place. It's my vibe of fertility, too, because it's, like, creative fertility. The type of fertility that allows everything to shine and grow abundantly and be its own best and biggest self. That is what is on the agenda for you, my friend. Ace of Pentacles. Fresh start with money and finances. I'm going to give the direct interpretation here. Like, yes, money plays into it and money making plays into it. And you are going to find your fresh start by both shining yourself, honoring your own talents and not being afraid to wave your flag about them, not being afraid to acknowledge how many gifts you have and use all of your gifts freely and not have to feel like you have to be fake humble about them or even real humble about them. Like, oh, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. You are very gifted. And also, in so doing, you reflect other people's gifts back to them and you give them permission to let their gifts shine. It allows everyone to vibe higher. A phrase I don't use very often, but I'm going to use it today. It allows everyone to raise their vibration. So, big moves. I love it. I love the positive energy today. Maybe it's the loop. Whatever, music is magic. Music is the best magic I know. So why not, you know? All right, Patty Bell pulling a card for you, my darling. By the way, let me just facilitate this conversation. While I was reading your card, Judith, these are Anna's comments. Yay! That's great, sis. And also, what she said. Thank you. By the way, if you want Judith's live reaction, it is wowie. You are welcome. Ah, you guys, this feels so good. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do music every time. I feel like blissed out. It's amazing how music can be a mood-altering substance. It's very powerful. All right, Patty Bell. We have the 9 of Cups. And this is interesting because you recently told me about a practice you were starting that was challenging you, and it involved a phrase I'm going to introduce to us all today, playing Angel's Advocate. And what do I mean by playing Angel's Advocate? I mean, instead of trying to poke holes and, criticize and critique, which I'm not saying those things are wrong. Critical thinking is important. Playing Angel's Advocate is acknowledging the positive possibilities, is saying, well, what if something wonderful happened? What if you're right? What if everything comes out better than you think it does? What if instead of everything going wrong, everything goes right? Instead, what's the opposite of Murphy's Law? You know what I mean? Can we have one? Can we have what's a good name for Murphy's Law? I don't know. Somebody's Law. Where everything goes right. Anything that can go right does go right. What if all of that happens? That's Angel's Advocate. And the universe is also inviting you to play Angel's Advocate. The 9 of Cups is a daydream card. It is a card not just of gratitude, appreciating what you have, but also of appreciating what could be. It's very healing and growthy for you at this time to sink into daydream, to allow yourself to envision what could be. And that's a big thing. There's a permission slip component here, because a part of your 8 of Swords is telling yourself or subconsciously feeling, which is even harder, I can't think about that. I can't dream of that because it's not going to happen. So here you go. This is your prescription from the universe. Daydreams, baby. Diggy Cat says, oh my gosh, Kayla Ludi is an Angel's Advocate then. Kayla Ludi honestly is an Angel's Advocate. Kayla Ludi, voice of wisdom. Everyone should follow her. Kayla Ludi, you can find her music on Spotify, and I highly recommend taking a listen. Just a really thoughtful, beautiful human being with also some really nifty, real nifty sense of melody and sense of like chord structure and stuff. Kayla's awesome. Dreaming, yes. All right, Samara, I'm pulling a card for you. I want to make sure I didn't miss a question or anything from you. I don't think so. I think you just, dropped a cat. All right, Samara, it is your turn. I'm pulling you a card at this time. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. I know I've seen you a couple times on the Witchy Weather Report. So good to see you coming back. Thank you for being in the community. All right, Samara. Wow. I shuffled. I pulled a random card in the middle of the deck. And it is again the 9 of Cups. Samara, you too are being invited to daydream. You are invited to play Angel's Advocate. You are invited to not keep your feet on the ground, but instead allow your head to drift into the clouds. You are invited to think about what is possible and what you desire most. I really want to hone in on this Not what you need, not what you think you should want, what you truly desire, even if it feels frivolous. You are invited to explore your own desires, your own dreams, to fully explore them. I always tell people daydreaming is lucky, and what I mean by this is that when you get in touch with, I can mean it in a very practical way, when you get in touch with what you really want, when you're honest with yourself, which can be very hard in our kind of restrictive society, about what you really want, it's lucky because it opens up the possibility, it opens up the paths for those things, and more importantly, it opens up your eyes to those paths, right? I'm not even talking spiritually. I'm just saying, if you're constantly telling yourself, don't think about that, it's not going to happen, well, your confirmation bias will be at play and you won't see the opportunities for it to fulfill itself. It takes a lot of energy for it to happen because it has to break through your thick skull to be like, yes, the good thing you want is happening. So when we daydream, when we allow ourselves to believe, even to suspend our disbelief that a better reality, that the thing we want is possible, it's lucky. We open up room in our minds to allow this to happen, and it trains us to prioritize our joy. So that's your invitation. Get deeply, deeply in touch with what you want. Enjoy it. Sink into it. Make it an experience. And now to move on to something completely different. Here's Anna's comment from Twitch. Anna, I gotta share this. Jack just came home from the thrift store. He bought a fart gun. I'm just gonna leave that without comment so that you can appreciate that purchase on Jack's part. Samara says, absolutely I have. Good. Please continue. Please continue to sink into, what you really want and what your dreams are. All right. I'm going to pop this in here one more time. This is just my kind of all-purpose informational comment about where you can find me. I have a virtual tip jar at the top of that. If you want to throw some love into the virtual tip jar, please feel free. I offer these readings freely every week because I want to bring some insight and light and compassion into the world. And this is my way of doing it. And if you want to support that work, you can. Venmo at Rory Kelly or paypal.me/Rory Kelly. If you want a deep dive reading, if you want a full reading with me, you can get one at Etsy. It's etsy.com/shop/Sassafras Tarot. Or you can just search those words, Sassafras Tarot, on Etsy. If you're on Instagram and you can't see the comment, don't worry. All of this is in the link in my bio. You click the link in my bio and you get a handy list of buttons. And if you do order a reading with me at any point, please use your discount code. For being a part of this community, you get 10% off. Forever and ever, amen. It's Witchy Weather Report, all one word. Pop that into Etsy and you will get a discount. All right, I know I've got a couple more people to pull cards for. I also want to let you know, I have a podcast. It's called Sassafras Cast. It's very similar to this. I do deep dives into particular topics each month with a focus on being accessible and empowering, giving you practical things to do to make your life your best life. And I just scheduled this month's recording. It's going to be Friday afternoon, I want to say 13th. Is it Friday the 13th? Oh my gosh, yes, Friday the 13th of August. And it's going to be with Susanna from Anti-Fragile Tarot. She's going to come on as a guest. I'm so excited about having her as a guest. You'll absolutely love her. So I just wanted to let y'all know that if you listen to the podcast. If you don't, check it out. Sassafras Cast. All one word. All right, let's see. I know I have at least 2 more people to pull cards for. I'm scrolling. All right. I got Mary Jane. And I have Figgy Cat, Diggy Cat, Ziggy Cat, Wiggly Cat. And I think that's it. If I've missed anyone, please let me know. Mary Jane, pulling a card for you. I'm shuffling at some point. I'm not someone who reads with the reversals deliberately. I don't deliberately shuffle them in. Often they get shuffled in during the Witchy Weather Report while I'm paying half attention to my shuffle, which I think is okay. I often think half attention is I want to say a lucky place to be. I think it's a helpful place to be because it allows some of our intuition and some of our subconscious to enter the picture. So, it's possible we'll get some reversals because I definitely have accidentally shuffled that way. Anyway. Alright. Mary Jane, I'm pulling a card for you at this time. Your card, my dear, is the Three of Swords. And my thumb kind of went to two places. The follow-up is Queen of Swords reversed. So by the way, like, this is not me favoring anyone. When I feel like two cards come up, I'm going to give you both cards. I'm not going to be stingy. Three of Swords. Here we have pictured, this is like a woman waiting for a date. She's got like a rose. She's in it's like kind of a dark London weather kind of night under a street lamp, and there are these three swords, and it's almost like the vibe is like being stood up. There's going to be a vibe where you feel emotionally this week possibly stood up. And what you need to know about it is this ties in deeply to the Eight of Swords. It's actually learning that's important for you to do, even though it'll be like not the most fun learning, but it's also not big, right? This is not a huge emotional heartache thing. This is you feeling like an emotional need you expected to be met, not getting met, feeling misunderstood, feeling that there are miscommunications, even though you have done your best. And what's really important for you to know about this with the Queen of Swords reversed is that this issue pushes some of your buttons, so you're not able to be fully rational about it. And like I talked about before, where I don't know if I said that today, but sometimes when we think we're being rational, we are actually being cynical. It's actually negative stories coming through and saying like, oh no, this is reality. You may be prone to that this week. We have the Queen of Swords reversed, indicating that you're having a hard time accessing your truth. So that's important knowledge for you to have, because it allows you to break through. It allows you to say, okay, I may not be in the best headspace to evaluate this. There may be something I'm not seeing. I'm not urging you to dig and try to get to the truth, because that might not be possible right now. It might be painful for you to do that. Instead, I'm inviting you to just acknowledge, hey, I might have a blind spot around this, and allow for room for the situation to resolve itself in a way that surprises you. And allow for yourself, even set an intention to receive the healing you need to receive around this, so that not only so you can see things more clearly in the future, but so that you can feel better in the future. This is an area where, this is going to sound really crass, and I don't mean in a crass way, but if you've ever seen those memes about like hurting your own feelings, you know what I mean? Where you like have a kind of negative daydream, like imagine if this person said this. This is an area where you may be prone to that. So I'm inviting you to go into that Eight of Swords mindset and ask yourself, is it possible that I'm not seeing things clearly, that I think I'm stuck, but I'm not stuck? That I think I have to do something, but I don't have to do something? That I think this painful thing is true, but it's not true? And I just ask you to approach it as a meditation. Don't stress yourself out about getting the right answer. The universe isn't going to give you a bad grade. I'm just asking you to be present for it and be kind to yourself, please. Diggy Cat, this card is for you. I haven't seen any comments in a minute. Are we still good? Did my loopy music put you to sleep? Oh, I do see. Anna says, by the way, love your t-shirt. Thank you. Let me tell you about this t-shirt. Let me sit up a little so y'all can see this amazing artwork. This is my cousin Delia Stanley. She released an album called Broke Down. It's on Bandcamp. You can find it at deliastanley.bandcamp.com. Let me type that in there for you. Delia Stanley. Actually, deliastanley.com will get you everywhere. My cousin made this amazing shirt. She's a fine artist as well as being a musician. She's like multi-talented. She's also a writer. She's super amazing. And I friggin' like every shirt she makes, because she does that. She has like a shop kind of like I do. I'm like, now I need to buy that. Because it's really cool and really emotive. And this is the cover art, I think, for Broke Down, for her album on Bandcamp. So if you like the art, maybe you'll like the music too. Check it out. All right, I'm seeing some spam in Twitch. I apologize for that. I'm gonna block that spammer. Don't worry. Judith says, "I is here." Thank you for affirming that for me. And Anna also says, "Still here." Thank you. Okay, Diggy Cat. Diggy Cat's ears are perked up. I am going to pull you your card at this time, and then that's gonna be it for the Witchy Weather Report. That's all the cats I have in the chat. All right. Diggy Cat, you have the Ace of Cups, however, it is reversed. I want to ask you today, here is the Eight of Swords journey for you. It's an emotional one. In what ways do you not believe fulfillment is possible for you? In what ways are you holding yourself back, either from expressing your emotions fully or from inviting positive emotions into your life, from inviting something that would feel like an emotional breakthrough for you? In what ways are you not allowing that of yourself? This can look like a belief that kind of thing doesn't work out for me. Nobody really wants to connect to me. Nobody understands me. Every time I get my hopes up, I get let down. Those kind of beliefs. And I'm not trying to ascribe them to you. You know your own stories and your beliefs better than I do. But this is a challenge the universe is giving you. The universe is asking you, why are you blockading your own happiness? And if you're like me, you're probably looking at it and like, I want happiness. I'm not blockading anything. Give me the happiness. It's very subconscious driven. So this is your quest for this week, to ask yourself if there is a way that you may be cutting yourself off from joy and fulfillment without meaning to and without realizing it. And the big win here is that if you are, then once you bring that out of your subconscious into the surface, then you get to make a new choice. Then you get to examine if there is a new belief you can replace it with, right? And I recommend not making a full 180, because it can be very hard for us emotionally to do that, right? People who have trouble believing that they can do well financially, for example, a lot of us have financial set points and limitations. It's really hard to replace I can never pay my bills mentality with, I make hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. That feels like such a big jump that it feels fictional to our brains, right? So it doesn't stick. But we could make a move and say, I can be in control of my financial situation. I can make positive choices around my finance, right? Those small beliefs can help us get positive momentum towards a big shift. So I invite you to find one or two new small beliefs to just try on for size this week and see if they help. All right, my loves. Now, Mary Jane says, thanks. I've just started to hold myself back from reacting to perceived hurts or digs and waiting to find in some instances my perception was off. Cards make sense. I love it. I love that you're already on that journey, and that requires a lot of strength, by the way. So, I'm applauding you, because it's hard. I am the queen of thinking everyone is, judging me and hating me, and that's been a source of a lot of personal work for me. So, I'm applauding you for doing the thing. Diggy Cat says, ooh, great question, universe. Thanks. I see someone just threw some virtual love into my Venmo tip jar. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you. That brings us to a close for this week's Witchy Weather Report. So just to summarize for everybody, our collective card for the week is the Eight of Swords. You are being asked this week, are there ways in which you feel stuck or held back or stopped that perhaps may be related to a story you're telling yourself that isn't true? Usually this is not conscious. We're never consciously trying to hold ourselves back, right? We're not that person. Nobody's really that person. It's subconscious. It's something that, a belief that may be formed through earlier experiences in our lives or through figures of authority in our life, right? Hearing our parents say certain things or whatever as we were growing up. And you're being invited now to look at those beliefs and ask yourself, is there a slightly updated belief I could adopt that might serve me better? That's your invitation this week. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I also want to give a very quick shout out to my patrons here at Sassafras Tarot, because I just want to show a little bit more love to my patrons. Every time I do something new, I'm like, how can I show love to the patrons? So thank you everyone who supports Sassafras Tarot. And that includes Russ Green, Amanda Little, Patty Bell from soulshepherd.love, hi Patty Bell, Melissa Marie, hi Melissa, Rachel Miller, Anti-Fragile Tarot, Grayson, Savannah Tillett, B from Whimsical Weekend, Millie Orozco, Ruby Marchetti, Brittany, and Hannah Westlock. Thank you, all of you. I'm grateful you are in my world. If you want to get in on the Patreon, you get a front row seat to my podcast recordings. Anyone who supports my music Patreon also gets this. I do reciprocity. And other cool, delightful perks along the way. I really try to just make a special community for everybody. And that's at patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. That is all I have to share with you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Save the date, Friday, 2 weeks from Friday, which I think is the 13th. Is it 1 week from Friday? I don't know. Friday the 13th. Me and Susanna will be doing Sassafras Cast together. Susanna is a fellow podcaster and fellow tarot reader. I know you will love her perspective. She's really smart. She's really cool. And I'll be back next week as always for the Witchy Weather Report. Next week we will be right around a new moon. Remember, friends, it's the waning moon, so it's time to be kind to ourselves, to create space rather than pushing. And I hope you feel that you can do that this week. Farewell, farewell, everybody.